Hell yeah, brother. Recording has begun. Oh, I got a snap. Oh, one of my friends. Oops. Alright. Stream is beginning. Hot diggity damn. I gave it like 30 seconds. Holy cannoli Batman, here we go! Oh wait, I can't oh, I love that I don't have to look at my own face when I'm streaming. Oh, that's so nice. I'll adjust that. Oh good, yes. Alright, cool. Awesome. Alright, so we're going to... No. Have I changed all this? Yes. Oh yeah, buddy. Alrighty. Okay, it's just kind of dull or dim on my screen. Okay. Wow. It has been a minute since I've streamed. So for the squad that is watching or will be watching, because oh holy shit, there's already 3 people watching. Gross. Hi guys. It is followers only chat, so if you don't follow me, get that follow button, because why the hell not? That's what you're here for. So I'm sitting in a Discord chat with a friend of mine, and I've been talking about this game nonstop for the last several months. Shut up, Silent. I've been talking about this game for several months with a bunch of my friends, and I don't remember who the hell I was talking about this game with, that they were like, oh, I'd really love to play that, like, it sounds so cool. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna stream it. You can still talk to me, they can't hear you. You're in my ears. So I have my tech wizard Silent here, who is helping me get my stuff set up on my new PC, because I never bothered to re-download anything, because I'm the worst. So I'm back on with OBS. Don't at me for my non-techie person skills. And I'm going to be streaming for the first time in forever. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna use my controller. So, this is... I don't know either, but we'll find out. This is What Remains of Edith Finch. So I did play this, several years ago on PlayStation. I streamed it. I don't know if this is still up on my YouTube channel or not. But I had to do this in several parts because it's a very long game. But it is still to this day one of my favorite games. I thought it was such a cool game when I played it, because it's such a beautifully well done, like, interactive narrative. It's by Annapurna Interactive, which is a really cool game studio. If you don't know of them, they have put out a lot of really cool games. They were actually part of Stray, that cat game that everybody went wild over last year, I believe, or the year before. Annapurna was one of the game studios that created that game. So this is one of their earlier works. And it's so neat. Yes, so I'm gonna start a new game. I literally didn't get very far at all. How's the volume on the stream? By the way, somebody's gotta tell me. I love the goofy pipe organ music. So, it's set in Washington State. So we've got the Puget Sound Ferry lines. In Puget Sound, I actually used to live out here, so I've ridden a ferry on the Puget Sound. I used to be able to see this. This is how I got to Seattle from where I lived, because I lived across the sound. So just chill on a ferry, and they honestly are a lot nicer than this, and the ferries that I took were a lot bigger than this. So I've got calla lilies. Did you know that calla lilies are a funeral flower? Okay, I'm figuring out the controls.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Yes. So we start walking through this lush green forest, which is really creepy because you just like see this busted ass fence in the back, and everything is just like overgrown and covered in moss.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
As you can see the house in the distance. The mailbox. Look at that. Orcas Island. Okay. I know where that is. It is very much...
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
We're just gonna ignore them. Ain't gonna pay no bills.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Just gonna walk through that. No trespassing. Okay, I'm still figuring out the controls. Trespassers will be prosecuted. This property is protected by video surveillance. I don't know why I became a redneck for that, but alright. Just look at how gorgeous this is. This is so freaking pretty, man. I know you can't, like, yeet off. Believe me, I tried to do a lot of dumb stuff the first
In a
playthrough.
will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
So, do I go down into the forest? Or do I go up, around? Your choice. Up, up. We go doing uppies. I don't think it matters because either path will take you through the forest in one way or another. Like they'll both take you to the house.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Oh, this is a road. Girl, how are you driving on this? You gotta have four-wheel. I guess it is kind of, sort of a road. Well, I heard a deer. I didn't see him. And that's the little forest pathway down in there.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
So you play as Edith. Okay, so this is where the forest path takes you. Pretty little froggy pond. Missing. That's a lot of missing posters. Brother. I want to see a frog. I can hear him. Show me the frog. Washington. It's a very old looking Washington plate. That's a cool little truck though. A little flatbed.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Alright, do we go up to the front door or through the garage? Let's go to the front door.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Alright, let me look at the missing poster. Who's it for? Milton Finch. Alright. Cool. I don't remember who Milton is. But are they all for Milton? Yeah. We got a nice, gorgeous, layered porch. It's a little disrepair, but no. I would 100%.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
This is so, like, she's so dramatic about it. Now that I'm playing it through a second time. But, like, it's so freaking cool. Is that a goose? Is that like a nursed goose? Let's see. Does the key open this door?
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Help!
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
It's because it's full of junk! Alright. Like, who wouldn't want a gorgeous house on an island surrounded by trees and nature? Got a nice little porch swing. Got, yeah. Nice little ramp. Lots of flowers. It sure is. Oh, yeah, got a nice big garage. Let's go around the garage, see if there's a door back. There's a door back here. Yeah, we recycle. Yes. I don't know why she didn't try the key.
Crawling through the
in the
doggy door
garage
used to
door.
be a lot easier when I was 11.
But she just crawled through the doggy door. Alright. The electricity working?
The power had been turned off the night we left.
Great! No power. Another car. This is a big old station wagon. Look at that. Right. Anything in the deep freeze? Not really. Lots of boxes. Fishing poles. See, we've got more nature.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
Alright, we made it into a big kitchen. Got a built-in microwave. We got a big
But
double
instead
door
of a family,
fridge.
there were just memories of one.
Edith, Edie, Dawn, and Lewis. So her brother Lewis died, and she's Edith. So I'm assuming Dawn is her mother and Edie is her grandmother. Lewis Finch, 1988 to 2010. Okay, no, Edie is great-grandma. Dawn is our mother. Okay, so he was like not very old. Okay. Wow. Yeah, only 22. That's wild. Oh, lots of books. We have The Holiday Feast, Witch's Kitchen, A Viking's Belly, The Nordic Cookbook, Tasting Thailand, Weird Recipes, Flour, Salt, Water, Yeast, The Northwest Chef, Raw Fowl, The Pacific Pantry. I'm trying to read all these. They're hard to read. We got lots of cookbooks. Got a lot of canned fish.
Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Okay, so Lewis worked at the cannery. Interesting.
Or how only one restaurant would deliver to our house. So we had Chinese a lot.
Ain't nothing wrong with a lot of Chinese food, baby. Who delivered? Imperial Palace. Hell yeah. Let's go, Imperial Palace. We've got Cosmic Cuisine. Flavors of India. Fanny Farmer Jr. Cookbook. The Book of Mushrooms. The Smoke in the Forest. The Pleasures of Japanese Cooking. I can't read the red one. Some of these I can't read at all. Dude, my mom has more cookbooks than that. What are they making? Apple pie! I bet you that's a fire recipe. Somebody cook that. Test her out. Oh my god, look, more cookbooks! Cookbooks! How many copies of Cosmic Cuisine do you need? There's flour, salt, water, yeast. I've seen 4 of them. There's a whole lot of canned salmon. Do I want to go into the dining room or the main entry? Let's go towards the main entry.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it. Like a smile with too many teeth.
Let's see if we can open the front door. No! Okay. So what I thought was a goose or a bird on the outside is actually a different shaped bird. I thought that was like the gooseneck. I clearly could not see it from the outside. And it's a bird in front of a mountain with the sun. Can I open the front door? Are we gonna let... No, we're not gonna let me do that. Look at all that mail!
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
What happened that last night? Please tell me.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Okay, so Lewis died, and she had another brother, Milton. Can we see the family? Okay, so Milton, Lewis, and Edith. So Lewis was the oldest. He died at 22. Milton, 92 to 03, was 11. And Edith is still alive. I don't know what time period this is supposed to take place in. Like, I don't know what her age is supposed to be in this. Oh, she said she's 17, so it'd be 2016 that this is taking place. And they thought Milton was still alive? He'd be, like, almost 30. In his 30s. Late 20s. I can't do basic math, y'all. I'm tired. It's Friday. I've worked today. Okay, so Dawn is their mother. Oh, my brain be gone. Alright. And as we go through things, the family tree will fill itself in, which is cool. So I will tell you that. Look at that. Everybody has mail. Except Milton. Bro, Lewis is dead? And Milton don't have any mail? That's so fucked. Okay, so she hasn't been here since 2010. Alright. So we can't go in this door yet. I know you can't go in this door yet. But we can look.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
There's a lot of books in this library. But you can't look around much. All you can see is just that little bench and a lot of books. And that door is also covered in books. Another copy of Tasting Thailand, The Witch's Kitchen, Cross Creek Cookery, Secrets of the Stove, A Viking's Belly, another cosmic cuisine. Shh. The Book of Wonder. Yelef. Yes. That's true. More cookbooks. More cookbooks. Oh no, that one says labyrinths. Probably another cookbook. Yes. We are a family of musicians. Yep. Barbara.
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Okay. I want to put the little birdie in there. She's kind of creepy. That is a creepy little doll. And they got Sasquatch in there! I just wanted to mess with that. I don't know why.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Why does it keep letting me touch this? Okay, we're just gonna have some creepy background music, I guess. Look at that.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house after it sank.
Right? Look at this. Got your big comfy lazy boys, more books, a nice balcony overlooking the living room. They're all cookbooks! Look at that gorgeous table, though. Gotta have the flat screen. It's a hideous green couch. The glider, though, comfy. I low-key love this chair. It's kind of cute. We got a little baby grill outside. Look at the view. The big old tree. Got a nice little porch with some stained glass. Oh, I'm streaming on Twitch right now.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Oh, my chat can't hear you.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
You can say whatever you want. The chat can't hear you. Okay, so we're not putting Grandma in a home. Even though she was on an oxygen tank. And y'all was eating Chinese. She had her wine glass. Hell yeah, Grandma Edie. Let's go, girl. You still got that glass of wine. This was obviously a child's place. Oh, I lied. A spilled bottle of wine and broken plates. Somebody flipped a chair. Whoo! They had candles. They was eating in the dark. Orange tabby wine. I don't want no cat flavored wine. Alright, do I have to keep looping through here? Oh no, we can go upstairs now. Grandma Edie's chair.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
See, look, she got a matching chair upstairs. They're into nature. We got bugs. They got one of those painted saws, which is really cool. Alright. We're gonna start in this back. Whose room is this? Molly's. Molly's room. 37 to 47.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with. If she hadn't died in 1947.
Molly died when she was 10. And her door has squirrels. Princess squirrels. Alright. Creepy family portraits? Gotcha. Time and the Gods. The Library of Babel. A Dreamer's Tales. Seeing Critically. Swan's Way. The Big Book of Homeschooling. Infinite Jest. The King in Yellow. Okay, so we're seeing more than just cookbooks. Somebody up here likes bugs and water. Molly with a cat face. Somebody kayaking. Shall we go into the ocean room?
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Great Uncle Walter's room. This is pretty freaking cool, though. Like, he has all this neat stuff.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Aha, check it out, nerd. There's
Turns
your
out,
secret passages.
my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
We're going through the secret hidey holes.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan.
Look at that. That is gorgeous. Like stained glass windows.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. But I had no idea what was behind that door.
Oh, yeah.
Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Saving, you know what that means. Neat stuff's about to happen. She's got a little whistle. Maybe? That might be a little whistle.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
That is adorable. Mount Rainier National Park.
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
So they had live plants in here and just let them die.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here. Before my mom sealed the doors.
Yeah, Mom kind of sucks in this story. Molly Finch.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Okay, so we're Molly. Right now.
My Halloween candy was all gone. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
She just ate a whole ass carrot for the gerbil.
I kept eating and eating.
Eating toothpaste?
I ate a lot of things that night.
Hollyberries are poisonous.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Just creeping. Look at that. Got the fireplace.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
So you can see Mom and Dad in the window. Wow, she's a cat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits.
Do you know how cool it is to
Imagined
control
his
this?
face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
I'm a shark. Yeah. No.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
No. I couldn't tell you. No.
I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
This is a lot harder to control than it looks. Yeah.
I grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Do you see what I am right now?
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
No. Worse. I'm a sea monster.
I was big, and I moved real quiet.
Yes. Let's go upstairs.
I wanted to stop it, but also I didn't.
It's so fun. Yeah, you just kind of get to like. This part's pretty easy. You just kind of like slip. Yeah. There you go, back out this way.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Do you recognize where we are now? You should. Yes, but whose?
I got closer and closer.
Do you recognize the room now?
All of my stomach started growling. And And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
So that's Molly Finch's story.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
So then she draws in the family members as she'll draw in the family members as stuff happens, and then you open it up and there goes the cat.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Got a lot of bird cages. A lot of bird cages.
We got along, and it was a good place to hide from my mom. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
That is a
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
pink fuzzy bathroom. Fuzzy carpeting.
It was a pretty big trace.
There's a secret in this bathroom.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book. Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Okay, so he made a dark room behind the pink toilet. And Milton was here as well. No. Calvin and Sam were twins, I'm assuming. And evidently Calvin died.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
To Command Center. Hell yeah, brother, we're going to space.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
50 to 1961, died at 21 years old. So the family members die relatively young.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready!
Coming! But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Okay, there's nothing else up here I can interact with.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again. The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Cigarettes.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay, so we now
20
know how to
minutes
get that
later,
key out
Rick
of the
hadn't
thingy.
returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Spooky. So you get to, like, be in the comic book, too.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Oh, you can swing the crutch.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman Killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
I think that's where he hurt himself on the table saw.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
The delay I had
Barb,
on that.
relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the Late Late Picture Show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Okay, my roller skate just yoinked down the steps. Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Yep. He's gone. He ski-doodled.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Barbara's door was sealed, so back to the chest we go.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara. Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Don't worry, I'll get up there. I'm going to get the key. Big creepy ass house. Give me the key! Time to go to the basement.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Turn it up a tad so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Oh, that's too much.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Walter. 52 to 05.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
And beaches.
And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
Okay, I can't go that way, so I have to go this way. Oh, duh. So he's in the basement. And he has an emergency hatch down.
I know it's out there somewhere.
Living in a whole ass underground bunker.
Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin.
Just a big waste pile. Cow. He's down here composting and shit.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Rest in pepperonis, Walter.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
This is so freaking cool. Oh. Oh no! He's underground! It's not a real window! Oh, that's so messed up. He's underground, it's a painting, it's not a real window. If you look, you can see the edges of the wall. I was like, wow, that's so pretty. That doesn't look right. The tree's not moving. And it's a picture. That's so wrong.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Private beach access.
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
Go this way? No.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Good night.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery. I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. We never found Milton's body, So my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
I think there's still more house to explore.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant. I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
Shouldn't we be leaving?
Just want to get a shot of you, Dawn, then we can take off.
I'm over here, Dad.
Just need to get a shot of you, Dawn, then we can hit the road.
Quite.
What?
Oh.
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though. Aw.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
Nothing quite like being outside. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map. Let's see. Maybe. Or was it? Could have been. You don't need to waste any more film on me, kiddo.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Screaming still. Yeah.
Dad,
Yeah.
I...
Let me get behind you.
Okay. You're gonna be very confused.
Do I have to?
It's at Raelan Dreams.
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Now keep yourself squared up. Great shot, Dawn!
It's called What Remains of Edith Finch.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
That's her grandpa. The main character's grandpa.
Sorry, Dawn. Just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about.
Dad!
You're gonna be very lost at this point, buddy. Yeah, that's
Of
the
all
rest of
these
the family members
stories,
are also
that's
dead.
the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Yes.
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're
Yeah.
all afraid of something.
Yeah, you like fill it in.
Instead
as
of
you
hiding
go.
from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
You like learn about her family, and you find out. Actually, right before this, you find out that she's 22 weeks pregnant. Mm-hmm. Yeah, brother.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
No, give me the paper. No.
Dear Kay,
It's like an interactive
do you remember the way
narrative.
Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but
No.
only he could see it.
I've never played those.
I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
No. Kind of?
Time's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like.
Ducks. Yeah, I'm thinking of a frog.
He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw. It sure made him happy.
I got an achievement for knocking all the letters off. Fat ass back there, whale boy.
I know how silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Bubble bath?
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck,
This
Kay.
is very dark.
Love, Sam.
for such a beautiful game. Missed a lot of deaths.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that I
now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm just kind of throwing my kite around.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power, but all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
Yep.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
So the only ones I have left are Lewis, Milton, Dawn, and Edie out of the family.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
I need to find something. Oh, I missed something upstairs. No, I did. There's a little highlight thing that I missed. See?
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
Okay, so Louis is Edith's older brother.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
This is such a gorgeous game.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush. I was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. whatever Milton had found in the house. Mom didn't want it getting out. Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room, until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Dear Mrs. Finch,
It would,
as
but-
Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior.
Yeah, he works at a fish cannery.
His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd
Doing
feel
this
his
with
way
both
about.
hands.
Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
Bro, okay, so I'm doing the fish with my right hand, and I'm doing the wizard thing with my left.
But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Louis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Louis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Louis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
You can see how his imaginative world is
and
getting
songs
bigger.
for them to play. He talked about
Covering
starting a
up the
band.
fish.
And he was always humming something.
No.
Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for sinister serpents. He followed the sound of her electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
Cat's name is Molly. That's important. Yes, that was important for earlier in the story. You missed that. I have to go back and watch this. No!
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do.
Molly's the first character.
Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Yeah, it's a lot darker than it seems.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Yeah. And we're not done yet, brother. We still got time to go. This is the end of the Finch story.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
Peanuts.
But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. the last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you.
No, this is a really cool ending.
I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
You think that you're playing as Edith the whole time, but you're really playing as her kid. The last of the Finches. Bro, this story is so freaking cool. I literally sobbed when I played this game the first time. Like, it is so freaking awesome. I loved playing this game, and it is so replayable. Like, it's just I'm gonna upload it to YouTube later so you can watch it, but like, oh my god. Like, it is one of my all-time favorite games. Like, it's just so interesting the way they do it. Like, each character has such a unique story, and you don't realize anything that's happening until it's happening. Like, you don't realize that Edith is pregnant until she says, she makes a comment towards the end, and she's like, you know, if I would have known that there was this much climbing, I probably wouldn't have come out here, you know, seeing as I'm 22 weeks pregnant. And you're just like, oh. And then you realize that Edith died in childbirth, but she wanted to tell her child the family history. I loved playing this game the first time. I loved playing it again. I had been talking with a friend about it, and I don't remember who the heck I was talking to, and I was like, I'm so in love with this game. And it's so well done. And this game, I believe, is like 8 or 9 years old now. I think it's been out for a while. Like, just the way it's done is freaking, oh, I love it so much. Like, this game is what made me a fan of Annapurna games. Ugh. No. So I knew how it ended. Because I had... Bro, you don't even know. You don't even have half the story. It's not enough. Because at the beginning, when I'm playing through, I'm kind of explaining it to Silent, and I was, like, messing around a lot. Because at the beginning, you're just like, oh, this is like a, you know, a story-driven narrative. Like, you walk through the story. But you don't realize how freaking cool it is. Until you get to the end, and you're like, holy wow. So then, at this point, you can go through and you can choose which stories to replay. So, like, if I wanted to go through Lewis's story again and make different choices in the water, you could. Now that I figured out how the camera works with Sam's story, like, you could do that. Like, it's just so good. Yeah, I first played it on PlayStation, and, I bought it on PC because it's like $5 on Steam right now. Like, nothing, the story itself doesn't change. But, like, it's different when you're playing as, like, it in first person. And it's less cool if you're watching somebody else play it, I feel, personally. Well, I particularly really enjoy playing, like, Molly's story is really fun. Lewis's got really dark, but also it's really cool. And it's got incredible music, like the soundtrack is chef's kiss. It's so well done. Like, when I first played through this game, I was like, holy shit, dude. See, I never watched The Walking Dead, so I never got... No, I get that. I just... I don't know how to describe it. You know what I mean? I didn't get attached to the characters, but I wanted to know their stories. And I think that's like the point of this game, is that you want to know about the Finch family. You want to know what happened to each of them, because, like, at the beginning, it's just Edith, and Edith is like, I'm the last of the Finches, like, there's no more of us, and she's 17 at the time that she's going through, and she goes back to the house because, like, her mom dies. So that's who, Edith or Edie? She goes back to the old house. Yeah. Yep. Yes. She was a child star and she died to monsters. It just says monsters killed her. It's like, it's crazy. So like Barbara's story, you kind of walk through it. So you start reading a comic book, and then you kind of like start interacting and moving the comic book. Like each panel, you start moving through the panels until it eventually becomes more and more 3D when you're walking through the house instead of you're walking her through the comic book panels. And eventually you start walking through the house, and then it goes back to the comic book, and the comic book folds and it like ends, and it's so good. Gregory? So, my theory on how all of them died, I think Molly jumped out a window after she ate something that she wasn't supposed to eat. So she went to bed, or she was sent to bed without dinner. And there were hollyberry decorations in her bedroom. And I think, oh, well, hollyberries are poisonous. So I think when she ate those, and then like toothpaste and like rotten gerbil food, like a hard carrot, she may have poisoned herself. So I think that's how Molly died. Then I told you about Barbara. Calvin, he is swinging on like a tree swing. I think the tree branch snapped and he fell off. The first death you saw was Sam, where he dies because the deer knocks him off the cliff. Walter was traumatized by watching Barbara die, and he lived under the house for 30 years, and then the day he escaped the house, he got hit by a train. Gregory drowned in a bathtub. Gus died in a storm. Milton just disappeared. Yeah. And I think, and Lewis died in the cannery. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the whole family tree. And we never learn the name of Edith's child because she dies during childbirth. Probably. Couldn't tell you. But like, what an insane story. Like, it's so beautifully done. I genuinely loved playing this game the first time, and I love replaying it. I wanted to do kind of something like spooky, but not like creepy spooky, like just kind of, yeah, spooky. And this was the vibe. I need to remember who the hell I was telling this game about, or telling about this game. Well, no, Silence heard me talk about it a million times, and he watched me do like the first half, and then he had to pass out because he has to go to work tomorrow. Yes, and you watched like the last half of the game, I'd say, because you came in at Sam, so I'd only gotten through about half of it. Yes. Now, do the little, like, Steam achievements pop up on the stream for you guys? I don't actually know. Okay, I didn't think so. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm definitely not doing it tonight. It's midnight. But, I'm not going to bed. I'm just ending the stream. So let me go out of here. Oh, I don't doubt it. Alright, so let me pop out of here. Why, what did she say? Oh, I got pinged. Uh-oh. Was she in the chat? That's funny. Okay. Let me go to OBS here.